As a passionate fan of strategy and tactical games, especially those following the legacy of Commando's Men of Courage, I had high expectations for 63 Days. Since falling in love with this genre, I'm always on the lookout for similar experiences, and this title immediately caught my attention. The story in 63 Days is compelling enough to draw you in, especially if you're a fan of this type of game. The setting felt familiar and comforting, as it closely resembles War Mongrels. I enjoyed 2 maps plus the tutorial. The first time I played The Diversion using a keyboard and mouse, and later played W Hour with a controller. Unfortunately, only the second map is now available for me to play, while the first one seems to be inaccessible, which is puzzling since I would have liked to revisit it using a controller. Regarding gameplay, having played similar games before, I quickly grasped the controls, although I found certain aspects problematic. The combat mode feels clunky, especially when using a PS5 controller, which led me to avoid it whenever possible. Additionally, the rock-throwing mechanic, a key tool for distracting and luring enemies, is frustrating. Often enemies wouldn't react as expected, disrupting my stealthy approach. Another notable issue was the perspective inside houses, where the roof sometimes wouldn't disappear correctly, making it difficult to see my characters. However, I enjoyed the short narratives that explain the backstory of the characters, much like in War Mongrels. One thing that really puzzled me was how the enemies seemed to have a supernatural ability to detect me. When I would attack an enemy and hide, another soldier would come directly to the spot where I was concealed, which doesn't make sense. I understand if I shoot, they could locate me. But if I throw a knife and hide, they shouldn't be able to know exactly where I am. This disrupts the immersion in the game. Additionally, in the first map, which takes place at night, I noticed that enemies with flashlights could see as if it were daytime, which is inconsistent with the idea of a night mission. While the challenge is welcomed, it would be more realistic if the darkness affected the enemy's visibility. The game ran smoothly, allowing me to fully enjoy its graphics. The ability to zoom in and out was helpful for planning my strategic moves, making the experience more immersive. The soundtrack is one of the game's strengths, and it works well here to create the right atmosphere. The music really draws you into the game, which is crucial for this type of experience. The game has a reasonable duration for its genre. The tutorial took me about 10 minutes, the first map about 2.5 hours, and the second around 40 minutes. However, the frustration with the rock-throwing mechanic and other minor issues makes me hesitant to replay it once I finish. These factors negatively impact replayability. The game's strengths include its music, graphics, and story. However, the gameplay could use some improvements, particularly in the combat mode. I wish that when one character enters this mode, the others would automatically join, similar to what happens in Partisans 1941, and as I said before, the use of rocks. So, that's my take on 63 Days. It's a game with a lot of potential, especially if you're into strategy and tactical genres like Commandos or Shadow Gambit. While it shines in areas like its story, atmosphere, and visuals, there are some gameplay mechanics that might need a bit of fine-tuning, especially if you enjoy a stealthier approach like I do. Would I recommend it? Definitely, but with some reservations. If you're someone who enjoys intense tactical challenges and can look past some minor frustrations, then 63 Days is worth a try. And for fellow Commandos fans out there, I'm right there with you, eagerly waiting for Commandos Origins. Let's hope it lives up to the hype. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on strategy games and beyond. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your favorite game in the genre? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, happy gaming.